Hello everyone, welcome back to Code to Serve Academy. In the last lecture, we covered how to create an object. Okay, so in this lecture, we'll be continuing with the remaining topic of chapter 2. Okay, so next we'll see how to use an object. Okay, so if we want to use an object, what we can do with that? So first thing, we can manipulate or inspect its variable. That means whatever variable we created, that is the data member that we created, we can manipulate those values. Suppose the initial value of val is 10, we can change it to 20, right? That means we can manipulate or we can inspect. That is, what is the current value of that val. Okay. And second, we can call its method like we already saw, like for here, like we have two data members, and if we see like where we have the methods, let me go back over here. Okay, so here you can see like we had data members and we had the methods. So now what I am telling now, like for using object, we can call the data members, that is what is the current value present in it, and also we can manipulate those. Okay, suppose this is a public value, this is a public data type. So what we can do, we can call it and we can check what is the current value present in it, and also we can call this method. All right, so let's see over here. Okay, so first one is manipulate or inspect its variables. That means if you want to check what is the current value present in it, okay, so what we will write? We'll write the object reference dot the variable name. Like suppose we had a string name. So if you want to check the whatever the value is present in the name variable, we can write like suppose there is student s is equals to new student. All right, so with this student we created one s object of the type student. Now suppose in the class student there is one, suppose I write class student, and in this one data member is present, that is name, string name. All right, now suppose you created an object like this s object. Now you want to check what value is present in this. Okay, so you can write s dot name. That means you are writing object name dot the data member name, right? So similarly, or the variable name. So similarly, you can see over here object reference. That means the object, this is an object reference. And after that, you apply a dot operator and then you write the variable name. That means from student class, I want to access the name. Okay, so what we'll write? S dot name. And now suppose you want to change the value. This one is to inspect what is the current value. Now you want to change the value in that name. So you can write S dot name is equals to A, B, C, anything. Now for this object, what happens? A packet is created and the name of the object is S, and in this name variable will store ABC. All right, so this will store ABC. Suppose you create another variable, another object. So you create student s2 is equals to new student. You created another object. Now you want to change s2 name as xyz. So what you will write? You will write s2 dot name is equals to xyz. xyz. So what will happen? And again another object will be created in the memory, and this will be named as s2. and in this S2 name will be X, Y, Z. All right. So you see, like whenever you create an object, a separate copy in the memory is allocated, and here the value of the name is different for all the different objects. All right. Now we saw like how to manipulate or inspect its variable. Now the second part is how to call the method. Like the second part, if you see, call its method. To call its method, suppose here is a class point written. Class point. One class is written. And inside that, there is a method void move. All right, which gets two parameter 40 and 49. That is a two parameter it is getting. So what we can write over here, okay, so what we can write over here, like intn comma intm. So you get two parameter, and in that what you can write, you can just simply log that value, system dot out dot print ln, and x plus x is equals to x plus y is equals to plus y. Okay, so suppose this class point is having one method named as move. So how you can call it? First you need to create an object. So how you are going to create an object? So suppose you created an object like point 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 one is equals to new point. We already learned like how we can create the object. Now you created one object with the name point. Now over here, like we have created, suppose we're using point one, the name of the object is point one. Now if you see over here, using this, the name of the object, that is a point one, dot operator, we using dot operator we can access the data member and the method. Okay, so over here you see point dot move. So move is basically the method inside this class. So what we are calling object dot move, that means it will call this method, and in this method it gets two parameter, that is 1 and 2. So whatever value we pass from here 40, it will get initialized to n, and whatever we pass as a second parameter, it will get initialized to m. All right, and that output we are getting. So you have learned now like how we can use the object, and you can now say like using an object we can do two things. First, we can manipulate the variable or inspect the variable, and the second one is we can call its method. All right, now we are going to see what access specifier means. So with the name access specifier, you can remember like it is a visibility rule, right? So what we can say it as a visibility rule. When you declare a of a Java class, you can allow or disallow other object of other type access that member through the use of access specifier. What does this mean? This means like whenever you create a method, like we created one method over here, and if we don't want this to be accessible by outer world, okay, so we have some different set of visibility rule that we can use. That is the different types of access specifier we have. Using that, we can give the visibility to the outer world. Like here, if we want them to allow the use of this method outside of this class or not, using which, like using access specifier, we can control that. Okay, so What it means, like using the access specifier, we can control how, like which class, basically which class or from where the data member and the method can be accessible. So in Java, there is basically four type of access specifier. First one is the public, second is protected, third is default, and fourth is private. So one by one we'll be covering up. So for public, that means whenever you write here public, like you have written nothing, that means it is a case of a default. So whenever you don't write anything, if you don't write anything, that means it is a default. Default is not a keyword. You have to keep in mind these three are keyword: public, protected, and private. Default here, it means like you have not written anything, that is in the absence of any other access specifier. That means you have not written any access specifier here. That means Java will assume it as a default case. All right. So default is not a keyword, but in the absence of other access specifier, Java assumes it as default. Okay. So you have to keep in mind there are four type of access specifier: public, protected, default, and private. So if you write public, so first let us have a look to this chart, then you will understand in a better way. So in this diagram, you can see like here are the modifiers: public, protected, default, and the private. So from where it can be accessed, so this is written like from the class, from the package, from the subclass, and from the global. Okay, so if you see over here, like public, if you declare it public, it will be accessible from anywhere. Means public can be accessible from anywhere. All right. Now the second case means if you write public from the same class, from the subclass, that is a child class, and also from the same package or globally from anywhere. So if you declare public, it is accessible from anywhere. Okay. Second one is the protected. So in case of protected, if you write protected, that means from the same class, in the same class, you can use it from the package. That is like suppose you have a class 1, you have class 2. So you have created one class, you have created two class, you have created three class. Okay. So if you want to group them into a package, so suppose this is the package A, B, C. That means all these three class are inside one package. So protected says like you can access within the same class. Inside this class, you can access it, right? From the package. That means from anywhere from the class, from anywhere the class, that is from inside this package where this class is present, that is class 1 is present in package ABC. So whatever classes that are present in ABC, from that all class also you can access those method. That means in class 1, if you have written one protected method, that means you can access them from class 2 and from class 3. So it is showing over here, if you declare it protected, from the same class you can access, from the same package you can access, from the same package, and from the subclass. That means if you write the child class, from there also you can access, and globally you cannot access. Got it? Point number 3 is a default case. Default case, you have to keep in mind, you can access from the same class, that is within this class. Within this class you can access that method, and from the package. From the package, that means where this class is written. And after that you cannot access, if you cannot access from the subclass, and globally you cannot access. So these things you have to keep in mind, like whenever you don't declare any access specifier, Java assumes it as a default, and in that case you can only access within the same class or from the different classes of the same package. Got it? Next, private. Private means you can only access within the class. That means from class 1, suppose one method is present, class, suppose point, and here there is one method, suppose private, move. Okay, now if you see, this is a closing. Now if you see, if you want to access that private method, suppose this is a class hello. Now if you want to access from here, suppose psvm, and if you want to access it from here, like if you write point p is equals to new point, that means you created in one object. Now with this object, when you try to access p dot move, if you try to access p dot move, it will give error. That is, you cannot access the private method outside of that class. You can access within this class, but private method cannot be accessed outside of the class. That only here it is shown, like private you can access only within the same class and from the package. That means suppose this is a separate class, this is also present in ABC package, this is also present in ABC package, then also you cannot access. You can only access the private method inside that class. Outside, not allowed. From the same package, not allowed. From the subclass, not allowed. Globally means that is from anywhere, not allowed. So these things you have to keep in mind. Okay, based on how you have to protect your method, you can use the different type of access specifier that you have. All right. Next, so you see over here, first one is a private. So if you see, there is a public class alpha and one private variable is declared, private int val. Now you see, like another private method is declared, private void private method. And this is a separate class. This is a beta class. Here there is one method. Now we are creating one object. So we created one object of this type. Now we are trying to write a dot val. So what I told you, so whatever private variable is declared, you cannot access outside of that class. That means you cannot access this value outside of that class. That means it is illegal. It will give you error. Okay, next, a dot private method. So you are trying to call this private method, that is also not allowed. From outside of the class, you cannot access it. So we have already seen over here, private can only be accessed from the same class. From outside means that is the same package or the subclass, or globally it cannot be accessed. Okay, next, C for protected. So we learned for protected, that is from the same class we can access, from the subclass or within the same package. Okay, so suppose this is the protected part written over here, class alpha and protected int val, and this is the protected method. Now this is a separate class. So we are seeing like from the same class, subclass, or the same package. Okay, so you are able to access now, like if it in the same package, suppose it is in the same package, then what I told you, from the same package you are allowed to access it. Got my point? So within the same package, suppose it is present in the package ABC, package ABC, then this should also be present inside the package ABC. Got it? So you see over here, we have declared the protected one data type and then protected as one method. But outside of the class, we are able to access it. This is a separate class, this is a separate class, but it is present in the package ABC and this is also present in the package ABC. Now, since they are present in the same package, then only we are able to access a.val. Okay, and then only we are able to access a dot protected method. So these two are now accessible. Now suppose this was present in XYZ package, XYZ package, and this is present in ABC package, then again we will get an error. We cannot access this because outside of the package we cannot access. We know like protected can be accessed from the same class or the subclass or within the same package. Got it? So to access it, it should present in the same package, that is ABC package. All right. Now next. So here we have the public. So public from anywhere. Like you can think of like public, can anyone can access it. So if you declare any method or any variable as a public, it can be accessed from the same class, from anywhere, or the subclass, or globally. All right. So you see over here on package ABC is present, in the package ABC alpha class is present, and in that class we have a public variable and we have a public method. Got it? So if you see over here, we see like it is a public method. Now it is in the different package. You see like it was present in ABC package and now this is present in XYZ package. So if you see class beta, so here we created again one object, and here if you see we are able to access a.val even outside the package. Got it? Even outside the package we are able to access this, because we learned like that the public can be accessed from anywhere. Got it? All right. Next. Okay. So let us see, like for the case of default, I already mentioned you like it is accessible within the same package. Okay. So from the same package, that means ABC alpha is present inside the ABC package and beta is present inside the ABC package. Then only we are able to access this val, a.val, and similarly, then only we are able to access default method. Got it? Now, let us have a look to the problem that is given over here. It was asked in ICSE 2018, that is in 2018 board exam, it was asked, like write a program to input a number and check and display whether it is a pronic number or not. All right. So you are being asked to input a number and check whether that this number is a pronic number or not. So you can keep you have to keep in mind like pronic number. What are pronic numbers? So if you take an example like 12, so how you can get 12? You can get 3 into 4 as 12. Okay. So if you take example of 20, so you will get 4 into 5 as 20. So any number that is formed from the product of two consecutive number. These are two consecutive number. So if the product of the number is from two consecutive number, then we say that the given number is a pronic number. Got it? So what we'll do, so first we have to take input. So we have to import scanner. So we'll write import java dot util dot scanner. Okay. So first you are what you have to do, you have to import the package. Okay. So what we are going to do, we are going to take input in Java. So for taking the input, first you have to import scanner. Next, class, suppose we write it as a pronic. Now next, so we can create, now recently we have learned like inside the class we can create a method. Okay. So we can create one method over here, that is a public method, public, that it will be accessible from anywhere. Public this void first is the access specifier, then is a return type, and then the name of the method, display, suppose display. All right. Next, what we are going to do, first we are going to take input. So first we'll take input one number int n. All right. So for this int n, what we are going to do, we are first going to create the scanner object. Scanner sc is equals to new scanner. All right, and in this we have to pass system dot in. And then what we'll do, in this n we are going to take input a integer variable, so sc dot next int. All right, now what we are going to do to check whether the given number is formed from two consecutive number, that is a product of two consecutive number. So we'll say, we'll run a loop for int I is equals to 2, I is less than equals to whatever the number is given, n divided by 2. That means we will start checking from 2 and we'll go to the, suppose number is 12, then we will go till 6. All right, so we'll go till the half of that number and we'll do I plus plus. All right, now we'll take another variable like int. Suppose here only we can write flag equals to 0. Flag, we have created one variable flag and we have initialized with 0. So what we will check, we will check the product, and another variable is the prod. So we'll check if prod is equals to I into I minus 1. So we started from 2. First we'll check I minus 1 will give 1. That means 2 into 1. Then the value of I will increase, I will become 3. Then it will check 3 into 2. It will check 4 into 3. Similarly, it will go on till where? Until we reaches n by 2. That is n by 2. So this is the given number. We'll start from 2 and we'll go till n by 2. Okay. Now we'll check the product. We'll check the product prod is equals to this. Now if we see that the product of this number is equivalent to the given number n, so we'll compare over here. If product is double equals to n, that means we are comparing the value. Single equals to is for assignment and double equal to is for comparison. So we are comparing over here and we see, like, if this is true, then we are going to flag it as 1. That means flag it as 1. All right, and we are going to break the loop. Break. So what it will do, it will move the control out of this loop. Suppose I value was 2, it will not move forward, it will come out of the loop. Okay, now suppose we never got inside this part. That means it will get terminate when I reaches to n by 2. So at the end, after the end of this part, we'll check if flag was double equals to 1. Initially we took flag as 0, and after running this loop, whenever this condition was true, then the flag would have become 1. So now after the ending of this loop, we are checking whether the flag value is 1 or the flag value is still 0. If it is still 0, that means it is not a pronic number. If we got as flag as 1, that means the number is a pronic number. So we'll display over here system dot out dot println yes, and in the else part we'll write system dot out dot println no. Got it? So this is the closing of the method and this is the closing of the class. So using this, like, we wrote the logic using the class concept, whatever we have learned so far. So using that, we have written the logic. Okay. So you can go through this, you can pause the video, you can dry run it on your own, then you will get an idea. Okay, next. So this question was asked in 2017. So we have to take a number, we have to take input a number and check and display whether a given number is a SPI number or not. So what is a SPI number? So again here you have to keep in mind SPI number is like you have to find the sum. First you have to find the sum. Suppose example 1124. So first you will find the sum of all the digits. So here 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 4. That means 4 plus 2 is 6, 1 7 and 1 8. So the sum is 8, and if you try to find the product, it will be 1 into 1 into 2 into 4. So what will happen? 1 into 1 is 1 and into 2 is 2 into 4 is 8. So when the product of all its digit and the product of all its sum of all its digit both are equal, then we say that number is a SPI number. Okay, so again we have to take input. So what you will do, first import java dot util dot scanner. All right, now you'll write class SPI. You can give any name. I'm just giving the name SPI. All right. Now what we'll do again, we'll create one public method, public void display. Now inside this, first we'll take one number that is n, and we need to find the sum and the product. So we'll create another variable for sum and another variable for product. All right, and in this case, like after finding the sum and after finding the product, when we get both the number as same, then we'll say it is a SPI number. Next we'll create the object of the scanner class, scanner sc is equals to new scanner, and over here we have to pass system dot n. And next here what we have to do, we have to separate the digit. So you already know how to separate the digit. So what we'll do, we'll create, first we'll take input n is equals to sc dot next int. So here we are creating one duplicate value. Okay, so even if you don't create the duplicate value, that is okay. So we can directly write here the while part, while logic. So you already know the logic to reverse a number. Okay, so same logic will apply over here. How you are trying to reverse a number or how you are trying to get a number. So we'll say we will run this while loop until n becomes 0. All right, until n reaches 0. What we will do? First, we will find the remainder. Got my point? Suppose the number is 1124. So if we divide by 10, that means we'll get the remainder. We'll get the remainder as 4. So if we write 1124 and if we divide it by 10, we will get 112 and 1120. So we'll get here as a 4. So this will get. So if we do modulus operation, then we'll get 4, and if we'll do division, that is a quotient, then we'll get 112. So over here we'll create another variable, that is remainder. Okay, so over here we will say remainder, only one variable for now. Let us see. Remainder, what we'll say, remainder is equals to n modulus 10. So if we do n modulus 10, suppose this is n, and if we do modulus operation on 10, that is, what is the remainder? We'll get 4. So first we are trying to find the remainder. So if we got the remainder, what we'll do? We'll first add it. So sum initially is 0. Suppose sum initially is 0. So I am writing initializing over here, sum is equals to 0, And product, whenever you try to write a product or find the product, always the product should be 1. All right, always the product should be 1. If we see over here, like we were okay, here it was fine, like we are trying to compute the product. So here the product initial value, you take it as 1. All right, next is RAM. So we found the remainder. So last digit of this number, we have found it out. So what we'll do, we will say product is equals to product into remainder. All right. So what was the current value of product? So let me dry run also. Here it was product and here it is sum. And here it is n. So n is 1124 suppose. So what is the product initially? Product is initially 1 and sum was initially 0. So first RAM is equals to n modulus 10. So we wrote n modulus 10. N modulus 10 means a remainder. So what will be in the RAM? So in the RAM it will be 4. So we got 4. So what we are telling, product is equals to product into remainder. So product is equals to product into remainder, that is 4 into 1, that is 4. So again 4 got stored into the product variable. Next, what we'll say, sum is equals to sum plus remainder. All right. So sum was 0. Now 0 plus 4 will be 4 and that will be stored inside the sum variable. Got it? Next, what we'll do, so we got from 1124, we got the last digit. Now we want the next digit. Next digit is 2. That means first we divided the original number, we got the last digit. Next, we will divide this quotient, the quotient that we got from the last division, Again, we will divide this, so we'll get 11, 1120. Now we'll get 2 as a remainder. So what we are doing? So we are dividing that number, and next time we are dividing its quotient. Again the quotient, again the quotient. We are dividing the quotient again. So we have to change this n. We have to change this n, and we have to make this is equals to n for the next iteration. For the next iteration, this should become n. So we'll write n will be n divided by 10. That means n, we are changing it, divide by 10. So I told you, when you do a divide, that means you will get the quotient, and whenever you do modulus, you will get the remainder. Got it? So for the next iteration, what will happen? The value of n initially was 1124. Now what will happen? Over here we did the product part, sum part. N is equals to n divided by 10. N divided by 10 means the quotient part, 112. For the next iteration, n is still not 0. Then it will come over here, n modulus 10. So if you try to find the remainder of this will be 2, the last digit. Got it? So the product is equals to product into remainder. So product 4 into 2 is 8. All right. Now the sum is equals to sum plus remainder. 4 plus 2 is 6. Got it? Now we are saying n is equals to n divided by 10. If you again divide it by 10, what you are getting the quotient? 11. This time you will get 11. All right. Next, again n is still not 0. So we'll check remainder is equals to remainder n modulus 10. So if you divide this and you try to find out the quotient, you will remainder, you will get 1. That is, the remainder will be 1. If you divide it by, so 1, you get 10 and you get 1 as a remainder. So in this case, remainder will be 1. And product into remainder, 8 into 1 is 8. Again 8 will be initialized to that variable, stored into that variable. Sum is equal to sum plus rem. 6 plus 1 will be 7. 7 will be added to sum. Okay, now n is equals to n divided by 10. Again, if you divide 1, so what is the quotient? 1. So here now the current value of n will be 1. Again you go up, again you have to find remainder, n modulus 10. So if you divide 1 by 10, that is 10 zeros are 0, so you get the remainder as 1. So you got the remainder again 1, again the remainder is 1, again remainder is 1. Next, product is equals to product into remainder. 8 into 1 is 8, and sum is equals to sum plus 1. That is 7 plus 1 is 8. Next, n is equals to n divided by 10. That means now when you divide this, when you divide again 1, again if you divide uh, 10, 1, that means quotient you are getting 1 and the remainder you are getting 1. Got it? So if you divide over here, that means you are getting this time as 0. Now the value of n is 0. So it will break this loop. That means it will get terminated and it will move out. All right. So after moving out, we will check if if product double is equals to sum, then we will say system dot, then this is a spy number. Then we will say system dot out dot print ln yes, else we will say system dot out dot print ln no. So this is the closing of this method and this is the closing of this class. Okay. So you can pause the video and can have a look at the logic. So for any program that is coming in your exam, do try to dry run it. So if you don't dry run it, you will not get the exact idea how you are means what logic you applied and that logic is correct or not. Unless and until you dry run it, you will not get an idea. All right. So we have covered the second chapter. So if you have any doubt, so do comment it. I'll try to give the answer of your all your queries. Okay. Thank you.